like, how are those two things working together? How as someone that is so logically oriented, at least as I perceive you, and someone that's so intelligent and someone so business oriented, how do you do the dance of listening to God and having faith and walking in his timing and his way?
That's okay. I love the question because I think it's something that I'm still developing my hypothesis on.
Okay.
So, work in process. It doesn't matter how well we prepare and assess with the best data we could possibly have, the best understanding. I mean, we'll just pretend all variables are controlled and we are, top 99th percentile for reliability in a system we're going to execute. There's always room for what we consider a black swan event, right? A black swan event is essentially when something happens that's so far outside of what's expected that like it's 0.000, one probability, something like that, right? No matter what we're doing, there's always a point of failure or an inefficiency. So the way I look at developing a business or a process or a procedure is first through the lens of simplification, because the more components inside of a multiplicative system, the lower the system throughput, because one, a whole integer, right, would be classified like 100%. So anything less than 100% reliable, I know, bear with me, pretend it's a 90% effective system. So we got 90% and we have another component that's 90% effective. The total system reliability is no longer 90%. It's actually 81% because 0.9 multiplied 0.81.
Yeah.
So because it's not possible to have a component of any system be more than 100% effective, right? You can't have like 110% of the time this works. That's not possible.
Right.
The more that has to go right to get the outcome we want, the less likely we're going to get the outcome we want. So from a purely logical standpoint, when constructing any process or system, if we want a better outcome, we need to have a more simple process, less points of failure. So as long as we do that, I believe that we've done our job in terms of what we can control in the natural. And then it's a matter of actually allowing time, space for randomness to occur. And as long as we've done our job in mitigating potential catastrophe, then oftentimes randomness within that space that we've allowed allows for a exponential leap forward.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So God needs space in order to institute a miracle. It can't happen if we had everything 100% within our control.
Right.
So then I just look from a logical perspective, if we had the ability to do everything in our own strength perfectly, then when we put in one, we would get one out. Right? Not ideal. But if we do everything that we can to be in partnership with God, so we're not leaving open this big back door for catastrophe, but we still allow space for him to come in, that's where the miracles happen.
Amen.
So even just stealing from, one of the foremost successful business people in our history that we've recorded, Rockefeller, right? One of his number one guiding principles in business that was basically like line 1 in the employee handbook is it should be every man's moral imperative to replace himself in his position as soon as humanly possible. Why? Goes on to say, such that he has nothing but time to put his feet up and think about how to make standard more money. Well, the cool thing is when we have that time and space that we've allowed for ourselves, and we actually go to think, we go to the secret place, that's where we get the inspiration and the direction from God. So we have to cultivate an environment in which we intentionally allow for that space, that time in the secret place for the randomness to occur, which gives us exponential results.
Right.
We have to play our part, right, in doing the execution of the day-to-day. But we also need to allow that space, so it's a balance.
Absolutely. Ugh. Yes, it is.